It is what it is, Saturday night drive.
It's the It Is What It Is Saturday night drive. Hee-hee.
Number 7.
And today we are in Nuremberg again.
And it's not even Saturday, to be honest, because
it's fucking Tuesday.
Yes, and tomorrow is national holiday, so
The 1st of May.
it kinda is something like a weekend.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
so,
a short weekend.
on that note, welcome to the It Is What It Is Saturday Night Drive, episode number 7.
7-11 to the heaven.
Yes. So how you been, brother?
Oh my god. So, I feel a little bit dizzy. Workload is up, and I start to lock into my high workload rhythm.
Yeah.
I still feel a little bit dazed at some points, but all in all, I'm quite good. I feel healthy, so
Yeah.
no sickness right now, and had a lot of great moments last week. So, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good too. Kind of in the same period or stage of life right now. It's been a lot going on the last 2 weeks, so I have this, let's say, tunnel vision phase, where I try to
That's what I was talking about.
get in my
tunnel
zone.
vision.
Get in my zone and get shit done. And it's kind of a different state where I try to focus primarily on the important stuff. But it was kind of hard because I was sick last week, unfortunately. But I'm usually sick all year round because I'm sick.
You're such a sick brother.
Yeah. No, but I'm feeling good again. I'm not 100% recovered. It's just like something like 80%. There's like some, I don't know. I feel kind of dizzy or let's say kind of lethargic also at some point.
Yeah, it's
too.
such a weird tonus, right?
Yeah.
Totally can relate.
But still, I'm happy. I'm thankful. I'm glad. I'm doing good.
As always.
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's you have been quite sick.
Yeah, it was quite a challenge, to be honest. Like the last week, that was like I had 1 or 2 days with fever, so it just came out of nowhere. So I had my challenges with the sickness last week, but still, life goes on.
It's always so funny when you're sick because the minute before you were just totally normal, and I thought you were just doing your thing. You're going to work out, and then the next day you text me. Oh my god! I had the night.
Even me myself thought I would work out that day because the day I got sick, that it was actually scheduled that I work out that evening, and I was like totally fine in the morning. And when I left work at I don't know, like 5 p.m. or something like that, I had like a little bit of a itchy sore throat.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, it's okay. So I will just probably work out in a few hours, and then 2 hours later, I was just like laying in bed with fever. So yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to shock my system. Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Surprise, French fries.
Yeah. But luckily you're back at it, brother. It's. I mean, maybe we can involve the audience in what we did in the past few weeks because it has been. I think we are also going to share it on Instagram because it's too beautiful not to share. But we had a very special project for one of our favorite cafes. We can say that.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, as you know, Jana and I, we have both Oriental backgrounds, and we also like to play games. And what could be more related to that than the game backgammon?
Yes.
And we love to play it ourselves, and we thought, why not do a backgammon board and game ourselves?
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago already, we did a prototype and started manufacturing it on our own, and it was quite messy, but in the end, it has been a wonderful product. And one of our favorite cafes just has received the final product.
Yes, and I think that the most beautiful part about that is because I think we already told on the podcast that we always have like these thoughts or ideas what we can like actually provide and what we can like actually produce, and EIWII more like a lifestyle than just a product.
Yeah.
You know, and actually the first order coming in for the backgammon board was like really what made us happy, because the constellation was we made like the prototype for ourselves.
Yeah, but solely for ourselves.
Yeah,
It was
solely
just
for ourselves. It wasn't even like finalized that we will produce something to sell.
Yeah.
You know, like it was just like we want a backgammon for us.
Yeah, we were just goofing around.
Yeah. And then we were just playing with the backgammon board at this cafe, and the owner saw it, and he was like he liked it, the game itself, and that it fits and suits his coffee shop. So he placed the first order organically without us making advertisement or stuff like that, because just we liked our own prototype and play with it, and he was like, okay, I would like to have some in my coffee shop too, in a coffee too.
Yeah, it was an honest connection.
Yeah,
that's what we absolutely stand for.
Yeah, and that was like really like a happy moment. And then a few days after we delivered the final product, I just went to this cafe after work, I think at 7 or 8 p.m, just spontaneous, without like any plans involved, alone. To
work,
grab,
right?
to grab an espresso. It was during the week, and then I walk inside and I see like the first people playing with this backgammon board. It was just a happy moment. It was really cool.
Yeah, but I love to play this game on this board. It's like it gives a special feeling. It's nice to play. It looks special, feels special, and is special. And yeah, shout out to Patrick if you listen to us. We wish you lots of fun with the board in your cafe. And everybody who wants to play it, you can go and visit Orko Cafe in Nuremberg. It's directly at the Hans-Sachs-Platz, and you can it's open to play with there. And it's definitely worth a visit. It's one of the good cafes of Nuremberg.
Yes.
Yeah, man. But this has been also a very happy moment for me, and it was, this is the thing where work doesn't feel like work. I think that's just for most people that's just a phrase, but in this case, I was genuinely excited to work on it.
Yeah.
And finding like the gaps in between my normal work to get this done, and meeting up with you in the evening.
Definitely.
Of course you are tired and stuff like that, but you don't. I didn't even.
And
feel
I think
it.
like
it's
really important to be transparent at this moment, like, because it's not that easy peasy lemon squeezy as it seems at some points, because for this Towler board to deliver it, like not a prototype, but you want to deliver something to your first official customer. We sat there like Friday evening. We both worked a hard week. We sat in my office after 8 p.m. until I think midnight or
after midnight.
After midnight.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of 5 hours in total. And we still had work to do on the Saturday, so some of the work remained still. So yeah, it's not like that easy peasy, but as you said, it doesn't feel like work at that moment.
Yeah.
So what it makes more rewarding, or like the fulfilling aspect makes it more rewarding. But when you just break it down rationally to the time it consumes during your like full-time job or stuff like that, it's definitely not something like you just do.
No, not on this side. You have to commit to this, but I think at this point we're fully committed. And this is what we.
And I like it. Yeah,
it's good.
As I said.
But yeah, shout out to Patrick. Also was nice handing it over to you. And we hope that many of your cafe customers, coffee shop goers, will have a nice time playing with this board.
Yeah.
And just for explanation purpose. When we speak of backgammon, we also sometimes use the word tavla. That's the Turkish phrase for it, or the Turkish wording. So don't be confused if we say if you hear something that sounds like table, it's called tavla and means. What does it mean translated? How can
it's just the word like for backgammon. I don't even know like the actual roots. I can imagine that it's called tavla in more regions in the.
I'm 100% sure somebody will come around and say, it's Greek, it's not Turkish.
So someone would say, It's yeah, Arabic word, or it's just like Greek. Tavla is Greek. I don't know. We're not like doing any definitions where the origin is from, but in Turkish, in our culture, it's called tavla instead of backgammon, and it's a board game. Yeah.
Yeah, a very nice one.
Yeah.
Also goes easy when you are especially at a cafe, and that's such a nice part of like the Mediterranean culture. They're always outside and they're sitting in these cafes and gastronomies and always sitting together, playing games, having a drink. It's all together, you know. It's not like you just sit outside and you want to be seen, but you really want to engage outside in some activity, even if you're sitting in a cafe.
Yeah. Even if your main purpose is not even like talking or like exchanging thoughts, you know, you have like these alternatives like tavla or or like different board games in cafes, so you can just like spend some time without it being like overwhelmingly social, you know.
Yeah.
And I think in Germany it's like one of the points that I mentioned, like it's always like when you meet up with people in the evening, it's always like drink related or like really
it's stationary.
It's
so rigid. And this is a very, I would say, cultural aspect, because
of course.
I once saw this and I realized it when me and my wife we went to the Netherlands, to The Hague, more precisely Scheveningen, which is the beach promenade of The Hague, and I have been to the Northern Sea in Germany before, and the way the Dutch sort of shaped their Northern Sea coast is so nice in comparison to the German part of the Northern Sea. They have loaded it with social activities. You have outdoor training parks directly at the beach. You have surfing cafes. You have beach clubs, and they are all side by side. Everybody is going there. People are going to the skate park next to the beach with their skateboards. Afterwards, they're having like a dinner in one of those beach bars. Then they take a dip in the sea, and it's so much more social. And here in Germany, I don't know why it is. Maybe because most people really value their privacy, but here you have like these beach baskets on the Northern Sea, and that's it.
I think it's more like that's what we had, like relaxing or like just coming off a hard day by doing activity based, or just like by being passive, or just like you know, doing nothing. And there are some cultures who are like, even in Turkey, if you're like worked until 8-9 p.m., you still have the time or like the energy to go out for a cup of tea with a friend, because that's your like activity base, shutting your mind off. You know, it's not like, no, I will stay at home and just like relax and regenerate passively by myself because I had a tough day. And I think those are like the main contrasts, I think, in the cultures.
Yeah, but I'm really curious where this comes from.
Yeah, I really don't know either, to be honest.
So maybe that's related to because in Germany school starts at 8 a.m. And I once heard that this is this stems from the there was like this original power within Germany. In German, it's called Preußen. I don't know what the English term for that is, but they had like this very strict work culture where it was like very well seen in society if you stand up or wake up early in the day, start your work early, and work a lot. So this has been like the status quo for the mentality and status quo for like a good and proud family, and also a man in this age, somewhere around the 1900s. And because school in Germany still starts at 8 o'clock, I once heard that it stems from this, still from this era.
Yeah, but generally speaking, German culture is a really work-centered and work-related culture, to be honest.
In some areas. So previously, it definitely has been. But if you consider all these unions and union contracts that you have within Germany, they sometimes seem to shift the focus away from like the work center and more to what we had last episode, work-life balance.
Of course.
That employees don't get exploited.
But obviously, I've never heard like people talk about work-life balance in Turkey that much.
No, and they are.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that we have these discussions here in Germany, because like the last few decades, decades, everything in Germany was like kind of work centered, and people try to like escape this by having a more meaningful life, by bringing the life aspect in, you know. So it's okay that, like also with what you told, that it's gaining more like a focus within Germany, or like structural importance with the unions and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's good, and that's valid that they talk about it. But on the
a
contrary,
valid
you
point,
you
yeah.
don't talk about it in cultures where you have, although you work much, you have still a work-life balance. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, yeah, but also in these Mediterranean countries, it's, for example, completely normal to take a 2 hours lunch break,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
just add these extra hours on later in the day.
Yeah.
But in Germany, if you take more than half an hour off for your lunch time, you already have like you feel bad
yeah, of course.
and not worthy
You have a
anymore.
social pressure on you. Yeah,
You need to get back to your desk and start working. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that is the mentality here,
yeah, maybe.
work centric. Yeah, but I mean it's a thing that goes through society. But yeah, I have been so in love with the Northern Sea, and only fell in love once visited Netherlands, and it can't be the weather. It can't be the weather, because in Netherlands it's not that much better than in
No,
Germany.
it's I'm still like 100% like persuaded that it's like the lifestyle per se. Of course, the weather is like a giant factor, or like let's say nature itself, because yeah, there was never a time where I was like feeling not good at a beach, or
Yeah.
let's say like by the sea, you know. So like natural environment, and also like the weather is a really big factor. But I think you can still achieve like a good, enjoyable lifestyle by just changing the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And not only your lifestyle, because sometimes it's just like the societal lifestyle, you know, like the society surrounding you, how this lifestyle is according to your plans or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Patrick said in SpongeBob, we need to take the city and shift it to another place.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Oh
God,
boy,
please,
sorry.
Please don't die.
Yeah.
Don't die,
That
man.
was, yeah, sorry.
Don't. Let it be, man.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That was intense.
Yeah, but these, it's the satisfaction. Oh man, yeah, there's this one idea haunting me for weeks now, and I
Yeah.
want to share it because it's really on my mind. So, a couple of years ago, I still had a motorcycle, and
Stop
ma-
it.
yeah,
Stop it.
yeah,
That's
I'm-
everything involved in your age with a motorcycle sounds like a
What does-
midlife crisis.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Maybe I'm a bit early because I'm still not 30 yet.
Yeah.
But 7 years ago, I sold my motorcycle, and recently I drove a
Yeah.
motorcycle again. And since then, I can't get this thought out of my head to buy one
Yeah.
and drive to the Northern Cape in Norway.
Yeah.
So this is like the one thing that haunts my mind. I really want to buy a motorcycle and start a trip to the Northern Cape, and this is
Alright.
around one way minimum 3,000 kilometers. So
Yeah.
both ways.
Do you want me to tell you what I was thinking you wanted to say? Like
No.
I just wanted to interrupt you and tell you like what you're gonna say.
Yeah, what?
And I'm taking a wild guess. I thought you would say, I want to buy a motorcycle,
Yeah.
restore it, or like personalize, customize it, you know,
Yeah.
give it the finishing touch so it's your motorcycle, of course, evidently, and then just like drive the Route 66 and try to live by making music.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
Kind of like this. I expected kind of like this of a story. Yeah.
No, partly. So 30% true. No, really, I don't even mind what kind of motorcycle. It should be just fitting my size.
Yeah.
Because with my size, I can't ride like any motorcycle. But this trip, it had already haunted me a couple years back. and now it's reviving in my head, and I really want to do it, and I'm already starting my plans how I want to do it.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do it on my own. I don't want anybody else involved in it.
Yeah.
Because I think that's for me that's like the greatest.
Just do it.
The greatest thing for peace of mind that I could imagine right now.
Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Yeah, I will do it. That's for sure. But nevertheless, that involves buying a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Because renting is stupid. I would still have to pay 2,000 euros to rent a motorcycle, and then.
And regarding that, I'm still 100% like persuaded that if you have like ideas like that even the thought of it gives you like some kind of, let's say, happiness, high, serenity, you know, how you want to call it. I think you should, like, people just shouldn't be like limiting themselves by saying like, that's just a dream, but try to think about like, how can I make this possible?
Yeah, I know.
You know, I know you do that. I'm just like, as we're talking like generally, like, and people are listening. So yeah, I would definitely recommend not to like just silence this inner voice and set some boundaries for yourself. Maybe it's not at this moment that it's the right time, but don't try to silence it. But maybe work on the thought of how can I achieve this, you know, or how can I like make fulfill this dream or like this wish. Because if you look back, and that we had that topic, if you look back, people enjoy, or like, let's say, people grow through experiences, new experiences mainly. Yeah. So I mean, I love drinking coffee or a good espresso in the sun. Yeah. But it's not that enjoyable anymore because I've done that thousands of times. Yeah. You know, it gets, at some point, it's not a new experience anymore. I'm thankful for that. I still enjoy it. Yeah. And even when I drink the espresso in the sun, I'm still like, oh, I'm thankful that I can have like this time off, but it's not thrilling, you know? Yeah. And when I look back into my year, I will never say, you know, this one time where I was sitting in the sun and drinking espresso, that was like really outstanding. Yeah. You will not say that. So just try to, and that's also like one of these rules that we discussed about. Like, everyone should, I'm not a fan of rules, but everyone should have like these rule of thumb to say, every 3 months or every 6 months, I'm trying to make something that I haven't made before, like a new experience. Yeah. Your life will feel so much more fulfilling because you will break this cycle of monotonous like lifestyle. Yeah.
Do you know Jesse Seitzler? This one, I think he's from Switzerland originally.
No. Never heard.
Maybe not. Sorry for if I do distribute fake news, but he's like also this one. I think he's involved in many things: stand-up comedy, motivational stuff. He also is the CEO of some company, and supposedly, stuff like that. And he said he has a friend that lives by the motto because each year you should do something, or you should set a goal that sets like the tonus for the year. Yeah. So you should commit to one great thing each year. Yeah. And you should do this for the rest of your life. Yeah. And in between, you should, because then you have, if you consider your age now, you're 29, and imagine you live until 75. Yeah. Then you still have 45 great things that you wouldn't have done if you didn't have this methodology. And this is partly true, I would say. Yeah, it's a great thing to do. And
definitely, I would like dare anyone who's listening right now to make this exercise yourself. You know, pick up a year or like a period of time where life felt like, oh my God, like time was passing so slow. I like really like you feel like it was like
bubble gum.
Yeah, you were in the bubble. Yeah. For me, it was 2019. You know, in 2019, I was like, I had this my own rule to say in 2019 I want to visit another a different country at least every 3 months. Yeah. Like every 3 months. So I was like in I don't know. I think I was in Denmark. I was in Italy. I was in Thailand and stuff like that. So it was. I mean, it's a luxurious lifestyle. Although it was a lot of like also cheap vacations, but still you have to be able to afford it, you know, or to make it fit. but still.
But you made
when,
it fit.
yeah, but when I look back, 2019 was for me the year that felt like it was like an eternity. A lot of my memories come from my young adult time come from 2019.
Yeah.
On the contrary, if I look back for, let's say, even 2023, like last year, so much happened, like work related and stuff, and I was like in my zone and working a lot, and I'm getting stuff done. But when I look back, 2023 felt like a second for me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's and you don't want to look back in 20 years and want to be like the last 20 years were like a second, or like felt like 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, you want to make these memories, and you want to stretch, of course, like the fulfillment within your life and the memories, experiences, stuff like that. So yeah,
But
sometimes the rule of thumbs to say, okay, I have a goal for this year, or let's say I have certain goals to make new experiences can be good.
But it's I think it's the one thing when general relativity.
Yeah.
When you are younger, time passes so slow because the 1 year that you experience in relation to the life you had until then
Yeah.
is so long.
Yeah,
in
of course.
comparison.
Yeah.
But once you are older, these years in relation to the other years that have already passed
Yeah.
become just a glimpse in time.
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't have that much of an impact, but also because when you are younger, there are so many things that you do the first time in your life.
That's what I want to say. Yeah.
But when is the last time? So now we're 30, and still, when
You
is the
learned
last
something new.
Yeah. When is the last time you genuinely did something new?
Yeah.
Even did something new?
Did something new or learned something new. What
Hey,
you were
you
doing as a
motherfucker,
child
when
every
did-
fucking day.
You even have the same route every day to work. When did you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do something different on my way to work.
Yeah.
Something like this. I'm going to do
Yeah.
something different after work. When was the first time? When was the last time you did something for the first time?
Yeah.
And this is quite when you really think about this, it gets scary because once you realize, oh my God, I have been so locked into habits.
Yeah.
That you didn't even think of.
True.
And they just take over your life, and you do that more and more the older you get.
Yeah. And
Automatically, you don't have to do anything for it. It's
definitely, and the reward is like so like big, so good. And I get everyone listening, it's hard to do something new, or like, I don't want to even say scary, but there is like this threshold to try out something new.
Yeah.
You know, even when I started like going out on cafes and telling myself, okay, I'm gonna go drink an espresso by myself and read a book. For everyone listening, I think that's not something really common in Germany, because when I started doing that in 2016, I think, something like that, people just like were really looking like strange at me. And I also had like colleagues who were like, what, you're going out to drink a coffee all by yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the first times, even for me, were like, I felt strange, you know, like everyone's sitting there for a coffee date and I'm like there alone and listening to music and reading a book.
Yeah.
But by the time I did it the second time or the third time, it was such a new experience and such rewarding in the happiness I felt, you know.
Yeah.
Now, after I've done it 1,000 times, that's what I meant, it's less joyful in
Yeah.
exclamation marks, because it's nothing new anymore. It just became the new status for me.
Yeah.
So it's for me to find something new again that I can experience the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you're getting used to doing this stuff at home again. So this is like, I see that you're actively
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, of
this.
course.
And
But
it's important. Yeah.
yeah.
So one of my ex-girlfriends, because I was always very outgoing. I grew up to be outgoing.
Yeah.
My mother's
Me, on the contrary, never.
Yeah,
Like,
but
yeah.
I have always been outside. I have, as long as I can think back, I have been in cafes with my mother and my uncle, and it has always been a great time. And it was normal for me to get out to grab a coffee or to sit in a coffee at least.
Yeah.
Of course, when I was 10 years old, I didn't drink coffee, but it was normal. The atmosphere, the experience was standard to me.
Yeah. Just
Still is.
Yeah.
But one of my
Social gathering somewhere outside. Yeah.
One of my ex-girlfriends, she was like a very, I would say, she came from a traditional household,
Yeah.
and they lived a little bit farther outside of the city,
Villagey
yeah,
type.
a rural,
yeah.
not rural area,
yeah.
area, but in between city and rural area.
Yeah.
And there was this like family weekend, and I took part in this, and it took place at their home. And then after, I don't know, after one day sitting at home, I said, yeah, do you want to go outside, and do you want to do something differently? And she said, yeah, sure. And I said, yeah, do you want to grab a coffee? She said, no, why would we go out and grab a coffee? I have coffee at home.
Yeah. yeah.
And I was like,
that's basically it. Yeah.
What do you mean? I know that you have coffee at home, but I want to go out and grab a coffee somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are people that think differently, and yeah.
I mean, even within my family, I have the same discussion, because my mom always tells me, like, you have a coffee machine at home, why are you spending so much time and also money outside for coffee? And it's hard for her to understand. It's not about like the coffee per se, but just doing something outside in a different environment than at home. Yeah,
it's about the experience.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it's the same thing why people decide to work in the United States at Starbucks, which is insanely expensive there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's normal that you pay
not work for Starbucks, but work at Starbucks. Yeah.
Yeah, just
I was just like confused.
Yeah,
for a second,
no, they are they're sitting in a Starbucks with their laptop, MacBook, and pretending
remote work. Yeah.
They work.
Work.
And then they're sitting there for but maybe that's also the reason why they're so expensive, because these people are sitting inside the cafe for 3 fucking hours and only having like one drink.
Yeah, and you know what I read, like, actually in this book about psychology and stuff like that, and it was like about psychology of marketing. You know when Starbucks had these big round tables with like AC adapters, so everyone could work.
Yep.
And people were asking themselves, why doesn't Starbucks have like every other coffee, like the square tables for 2 people or stuff like that?
Yeah.
So people will feel more comfortable to sit at a table where they sit across someone and look at them than sit somewhere and just look in an empty room or like at the wall where they feel lonely again.
Yeah.
So they get more cozy to actually go there and work. You know, or do some work on their laptops. Yeah. So it was actually like just underlining the concept of people go to Starbucks to work from Starbucks because they don't want to be home alone or just like need some different like environment.
Yeah.
You know?
But I also heard something also regarding that matter. You know, it was typical that in cafes you have like larger tables, also square shaped.
Yeah.
And Starbucks was the first cafe on a large scale to implement like smaller round tables to their cafes, which didn't provide nearly as much space as a square table, but it made it more inviting and comfortable for single people to sit down and spend time in a cafe. If you decide to go alone.
Yeah.
Then you don't look lonely from the outside. It's like also the external fact,
of
the
course,
image.
Yeah.
You don't get looked at weirdly by other people or other visitors because you are alone in a cafe.
Yeah.
On the contrary, I made the experience that if you visit Starbucks with a larger group, you are the outsider.
Yeah, usually, yeah. But yeah, interesting, definitely interesting. But it shows like people don't only have the urge to do they don't only have the urge to do something new or experience something new in with other people or like in larger groups. Sometimes you just have the urge to do something different or be in a different environment by yourself. But most of the time people are just not courageous enough because it's not like the state of the art or like it's normal for them to do that in their societies.
Because it doesn't look normal.
Yeah.
So that's mostly the case.
Also depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Really, like I think it's more like it's more, how do you call it, looked down upon in Germany to be like alone doing something. Like even if you go to a restaurant by yourself and let's say you just have the wish to eat something fancy. Yeah. You had a tough day, you're like, you want to reward yourself and you're like, maybe I just don't want to grab fast food and go home, but I want to eat like a good pasta at the Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
So when you go somewhere alone in a fancy restaurant in Germany to eat some pasta, people will look at you like differently.
Yeah, they won't look at you. They will judge you.
Yeah,
they will
probably.
They will
yeah,
judge
yeah.
the fuck out of you.
Probably, yeah.
Oh my God, why is he alone? Oh my God, he must have been on a date. He might be. He might
Yeah,
get dumped.
he got dumped.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, he must be such
They
a
didn't
bad
show
human
up.
being.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Oh my God, yeah. Old,
there are
old
cultures-
people walking by shaking their
And
heads.
I think
Ah,
there
what
are
a
cultures
disgrace.
where it's totally normal. Example given, like in Turkey, if you go alone eating somewhere or just like drinking coffee somewhere, it's kind of normal to do that, you know.
Yeah, but there it's also normal that, I don't know, the owner sits down for a minute and talks to you in that case.
Yeah, regarding that, it's true.
And in Germany, you could be happy if you get to see the owner of the cafe.
So, yeah, I think the resume of this, or like, yeah, the summary of this talk is do whatever the fuck you want to do, what makes you happy, because people will still, like...
Judge the hell out of you.
Yeah, of course, people will think what they are going to think about every situation or like everything or everyone. So, yeah, do whatever makes you happy. And I know it will feel slightly uncomfortable for you in the beginning if you're not used to it, but just go for it. If you feel like grabbing something fancy to eat by yourself, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just
I
fucking
mean,
do it.
You know, we cited Shia LaBeouf a lot today.
We also,
Yeah.
if you don't remember, we did the last episodes.
We should feature him.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
Shia, if you mind,
Yeah.
visit the It Is What It Is podcast.
But he should come around with a Camaro with Bumblebee.
Bumblebee? Where we can drink some bubble tea with Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, on this note, people, it has been an honor again. And,
Yes.
What else can we say?
Nothing.
It is what it is.
You are who you are. And now I'm gonna go home and listen to the new Kendrick diss.
To
Drake. Drake. People, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy evening.
and take care.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Peace out.